Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Coming up next, we've got what should be a good one between the Denver Broncos and the Green Bay Packers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half. But it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, historic Lambeau Field. Fittingly, it butts up against Lombardi Avenue here in the heart of Green Bay, Wisconsin. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Denver Broncos and the Green Bay Packers. 2 weeks have come and gone. It's off to week 3, and we're underway on EA Sports. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. They will be led out by the second overall pick back in 2016. Hard to believe he's already in his 4th season, Carson Wentz.
And frankly, this is the type of game that a great quarterback relishes because 0-2 on the road, everything's against him and his team. No one can expect them to win. Sometimes you band together real tight in that situation, and if he plays really well, they've got a chance to get that done.
Here's Coleman, and he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line.
Face mask. Defense.
Got the hand caught up in the grill of the face mask. 15-yard penalty.
So tough for a defender. You're trying so hard to make a play, and the way that these offensive guys can move around, sometimes your hand gets into the wrong place.
Now a throw right side taken in here to start this drive. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march up another 15 against your squad.
For Keenan Allen, that's complete. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Keenan Allen, his first touchdown here of the new campaign, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Well, that's how they envisioned it, get the football to start the game and score.
And I don't know if that was scripted. Was it an audible? Or was it just a play call that they had in their pocket? No matter what, they had the right call on against the right defense, and they end up in the end zone.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by a former Pro Bowl quarterback out of the University of Georgia, Matthew Stafford.
And I'll bet he's talking to his guys about resisting the temptation to try and turn this into an up-and-down game, almost like basketball, where both teams press and one team gets an advantage. Our team's trying to run with them, and they're just not equipped for it. Doesn't matter whether you're equipped or not. Just settle in, get calm before you go for the big strikes.
Stafford now to throw. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Damiere Byrd, the intended receiver, but it'll be second down. Here's the offense, and we give you too much power here. We let you highlight the player. Why'd you choose Zeitler?
Because I think the big guys up front never get enough credit. Kevin Zeitler, a guard, tough, nasty. We've got to give him some love.
On second down now, it's Grant, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up third down. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
They'll fake the give. Now Stafford. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
And third down is a key down in any game you play. And third down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. Good open field tackling there. A 50-yard punt followed by just a 1-yard return. And the Broncos take over. First down and 10. The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. Look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. That'd be ideal. Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. But the converse is, though, you've got to win those one-on-one blocks. And when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7. The offensive starters now for the Broncos.
Yeah, I feel a little bad here because we missed out talking about these guys on the opening drive because they were in the end zone before we had a chance to even say anything. But let's keep an eye on these wideouts. QB already has 1 touchdown pass. You know he's looking for a few more before this one's over. Those wideouts will get plenty of opportunities to try and score again.
Open man, it's Allen. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10, right at the 40. On play action, Wentz. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. On the ground with the rookie Devin Singletary. He's got a first down and much more inside the 20. And finally down at the 9-yard line.
Let's go, baby.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7. We'll take a look at the starters here defensively for the Packers. They were very good a week ago in the win over Minnesota.
Yeah, they gave up 17 points, but that's about what you consider the break-even mark. If you give up 17 points a game all year long, you're thinking you're going to be a playoff team. That's what you're looking for. Room to improve, of course, but pretty nice effort.
And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to set up a 3rd and goal. Wentz now on 3rd and goal. And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. Will Dissly, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Broncos push further out in front. 2 excellent drives for them to start this game, both ending with touchdown passes.
Yeah, they're off and running.
Oh, this is blocked. Oh, the Packers have it. He's got the lane, and there he goes. The 30, past the 20, and all the way into the end zone, and that's 2 points. So after the block PAT, they're ready to kick this one off. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And a 3 and out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
Now it's Breida. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They'll try to pick this up on the ground with Breida. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. A third down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Hey, 5-0! 40 got.
They'll run on first down. Grant. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Packers. Corey Grant, his second touchdown on the season, as his guys are back within a single score. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Elliott good on the extra point. An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sports. Elliott now to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Getting set to go again here on offense, Keenan Allen marches back onto the field. He's doing what he's capable of, having a solid game. Not the most amazing game. He's not over 100 yards, but a good game so far.
And you just know that mentally he feels like he's one catch away from turning it into a great game and starting on that road. And the defenders are well aware of that, too. They've got to figure out a way to not let that escalate. Keep him right in this zone here and call it a day, because otherwise he can really decimate them.
Better believe they are well aware of his playmaking ability. They'll run with Coleman on first down. And if there was a lane there, it closed up quickly as he stopped for no gain. Second down.
Defense.
And a big face mask penalty here, 15 yards.
You never want to get your hands up in the face mask area, because your fingers can get tangled up there, and that can hurt you as a player.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. On the ground, it's a handoff to Coleman.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Charles, I know it's hard when live bullets are flying, but you cannot keep your hand up around the face mask area.
It is absolutely inexcusable nowadays. We talk about target areas all the time. You have to aim lower so that your hand doesn't get involved in the face mask.
Into the red zone. Wentz. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. And give credit to Reuben Foster, the linebacker, getting a hand in to disrupt.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Back to the air on second down. Wentz. He gets it to Cooks. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down.
I think a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry, ball gets tipped in the air, because if that happens.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. 3 touchdown passes now for Carson Wentz. And the Broncos push further out in front. Well, it was 3rd and 1. I was expecting runs, so much for that. They pass it, they score it.
That had the feel of the head coach telling the offensive coordinator, you've got 4 downs here. We're going to go for it on 4th down unless there's a disaster on 3rd. Go ahead and take a shot if you want to. And he gratefully accepted the opportunity and did exactly that. If they didn't get it there, that had the feel that they would come back and try it on 4th down.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field.
I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2 minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
Hey, exit. Mike 51.
Play action. Stafford. That's going to be caught by Samuel. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well and get a few stops.
Marcus Peters up to make the tackle.
Not much happening there on first down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
From the 41, Stafford. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
So many things have to come together just right for a screen pass to break for big yardage. The blocking, the timing of the pass to the runner, everything has to fit together just right. But on that play, the defense was able to disrupt things and hold it to a short game.
Stafford. And that will be incomplete. More problems here on third down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on third down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
Too long for a field goal, too short to punt. That in-between range, and they'll go for it on fourth down. They snap it to Stafford. Completes it to Samuel. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. They were caught in no man's land that time, but the decision to go for it, that was the right one. It's a first down. Stafford. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. Ball on the 30 as they come up second and 10. Breida, he'll try the right side. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. The Packers on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. To throw is Stafford. Got his target, Samuel. He's exceeded his receiving yards from a week ago, and we're still in the first half. It's a first down.
But we're used to seeing the guy that you consider the #1 receiver double covered. But how about this guy? He's double covered and finds a way to make the play for a first down.
That's how you increase your Madden rating, right?
No doubt about that at all. And you know something? I think we'll hear about that from him soon.
Set! Yellow 20! Watch the screen! Watch the screen! Watch the screen! Check 3, check 3, check 3.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football.
Let's go! Let's go!
A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
Mike, check, 59.
Now it's Stafford. They're going to set up the screen here. This is Grant.
Here comes the boom. Yellow lady. Yellow lady. Come on now. Hey, 22. Look at him.
On third down, Mooney. And he'll take this one in for a Packer touchdown. A great effort there with his first career NFL touchdown as his guys are back within a single score. And that moment we just saw, always so special for any rookie, the first touchdown of his career.
And there's nothing like anticipation, is there? You know he's been dreaming about it, thinking about it. It's been a part of every bit of his being. And finally, it gets done. He's got to feel great right now.
And he'll get into the end zone as the two-point conversion is successful. And they're able to ground it in there on the two-point try. And you and I were talking before the game. The two-point conversions from the 15-16 season, what has changed, what hasn't changed, partner?
Yeah, I'll tell you what's changed is just your normal strategy, because now you're either kicking the football with the ball on the 15-yard line, or if you decide to go for two, they put it on the 2-yard line. So what are you thinking as a coach? Do I risk it? Do I go for it here? Do I try and gain a strategic advantage and maybe go for two early? That's what people are wondering about.
And we spotlight Keenan Allen as he gets set to go back to work. And he is closing in on the 100-yard mark for the day.
And it appears that he loved the fact that they're going to play this game early.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time, but they have 3 timeouts at their disposal as well. So that changes everything that you're doing here. Without those timeouts, you can only work the sidelines, hoping to get out of bounds. Here, the middle of the field is still available because you can call timeout and regroup. Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. There's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball.
Exactly right. You have a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Wentz now on first down. It's caught left side by Cooks. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Wentz now nearly perfect. 9 of 10 in this first half. It's 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Wentz. There again is Cooks, complete. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. The end result, 21 yards. Wentz now, only one pass has hit the ground for him. 10 of 11 thus far. It's 1st and 10. Now Wentz to the end zone, but it's incomplete. He was looking to go back to Cooks one more time. That'll bring up 2nd down. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Again, it's Wentz. Completes it to Coleman. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Carson Wentz with touchdown pass number 4 on the afternoon. And the Broncos push further out in front. CD, it seemed like they were so focused on the guys out wide, they forgot about him out of the backfield.
That's a really good point because you've got to communicate, and oftentimes when you start counting receivers, that's exactly what you do. You start from the widest receiver, work your way inside. Who gets lost sometimes? The back in the backfield. That's exactly what happened there.
And he got into the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Curtis Samuel and the rest of the offense heading back out there now. He's been good so far to this point in the second quarter. Need to get him even more involved, maybe?
I would agree with that. Definitely. Yeah, it's not even a question for me. The way he's playing, he's doing a nice job. Increase things. More touches, more opportunities. Maybe that can reverse things on the scoreboard for them.
They'll try to ratchet things up then maybe here in the second quarter. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. The intended receiver, Marquise Goodwin, and that'll bring up second down.
Hey, 70! Hey, Alpha!
Back to the air. Stafford on second down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see.
11. 59 Mike. Check. Spud.
Third and long. It's Stafford. Taking a shot for Samuel. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left. And likely time for one final play here in the half, so they will go for it on fourth down.
Mike's 59. It's going to be a long day. Hey, Haywood. Check this out.
The final shot before the break. Stafford. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game. And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Here we go.
The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And last time out, went for it on fourth down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned into 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on fourth down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
Off of play action. Here's Stafford. Taking a shot for Samuel. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Trevor Williams with a pick. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple. On second down, it's Coleman, and able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Wentz going to try and throw on third. This is caught. It's Cooks. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run.